On this episode of the Hoop Life Productions podcast, AJ and Chance are finally doing a fantasy draft with salary cap. Just a few quick rules. It's a 13-man roster. You can't go over the salary cap that's set at $109 million. It's a snake draft, so if I have the first pick, AJ would have the next two picks, and then so on and so forth. And then a max of 3 rookie deals, and then you can have as many minimum contracts as you want, but you have to stay under the $109 million salary cap. So without further ado, AJ, play the intro. After our rock, paper, scissors game, I got the first pick. And with this, I think I'm going to use one of my rookie deals and take Luka Doncic at $8 million. He can be my point guard. Obviously one of the best players on my team. He's already one of the best players in the league. And he's only 21, right?
Yeah, and congrats to him. He just got announced as a Western Conference All-Star starter.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. Over Dame, which I wasn't a fan of, but I mean, it's Luka Doncic at the end of the day. Either way, you can't go wrong. But yeah, I got Luka Doncic with the first pick at $8 million, so I got $101 million to work with.
Yeah, and since Chance wanted to ruin my dreams and take Luka, I had to, go with a different player here, and I took another young guy with a lot of promise, but this guy's a little more proven so far. Back-to-back MVPs, and I'm putting him at my center position, taking Giannis Antetokounmpo, who takes up a big chunk of my money right away, $27.5 million.
That's a good number for Giannis, though. To be honest, that's a bargain.
And I think it's the right position for him too at center. I think that's where he belongs.
Right, I've been saying that. I think the Bucks are making him do things that he's not necessarily good at, I guess.
Yeah.
I think somebody said this a few months ago, but he's like a Shaq and he needs his Kobe, if that makes any sense.
Of course. And he's got it in Chris Middleton.
Yeah. Drew Holiday, add those two together and you got Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe.
Just kidding.
Sure don't. Not even close.
Then you have the third pick as well because it's a snake draft, so who do you got at 3?
So here I'm going to take a guy who does the very opposite of Giannis. Giannis is known to defend and not shoot. I'm going to take a guy who's known to shoot and absolutely not defend, and Trae Young.
Okay.
That's that's my first rookie contract.
I definitely would have taken him.
With $6.6 million. I think Giannis and Trae Young is a dream scenario. We've seen
it's okay.
We've seen in the All-Star games what the combination of Giannis and Curry looks like, and Trae Young's similar in play style, so I'm going to put him with Giannis.
That's fair. And a lot less money, too. So
a lot less money. 6.6 is indeed a lot less than 27.5. I did not pass 9th grade algebra, but I do know that.
Yeah, I feel that. So you've got Giannis and Trae Young so far, and I've got Luka Doncic. So I think I'm going to use up my second of 3 rookie deals and take Jason Tatum, and he'll be my starting small forward at $9.9 million. I just like Tatum because he brings it on both ends of the floor. I don't think he has very many flaws in his game, and he's still young. And then obviously that salary at just under $10 million is really beneficial for my team going forward.
Yeah,
so.
He's really good for being the second best player on his team.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's my opinion. I know it's a little controversial, but I don't think it's that controversial.
No, you can make a case for either one, but I would still go with Tatum just slightly.
I just like what
I love both of them.
I like what Jalen brings on the defensive side, but
right.
It's close. Congrats to Jalen too. He's having a great year, and he didn't get the All-Star nod.
Yeah, they'll both be reserves for sure on the Eastern Conference. So.
Yeah.
And then I guess I have another pick. So with my third pick in the draft, I'm going to go with Anthony Davis. He's my biggest salary by far, and I think probably for the video at $32.7 million. I'm going to have him be my, I think I'll put him at my power forward. Not sure what I'm going to do after this, but I think he can slide 80 at the 4 or the 5 and be fine, and obviously he's incredible on the defensive end, and then he can score at all 3 levels on the offensive end. So, and then he's got that championship pedigree now, so
yeah,
I love having that on my team.
Officially not known as a guy who doesn't win, and hope
that's what happens when you leave New Orleans.
Yeah, hope he has a successful return.
That's a hint for Zion, by the way.
Yeah. So we just pray he gets better. Hopefully the injury's not too serious. So it's a good pick for you.
Yep.
So here I got my third pick, and I'm taking up a lot of money again.
Okay.
It's my second and only other really big contract. I'm taking.
Yeah, it's hard to get more than 2.
Yeah.
When you have salary cap and you can't go over. Like a lot of teams. Sorry to interrupt, but like a lot of teams, they can't go. Well, they can go over the salary cap, but they don't want to touch that luxury tax. But in this case, we're trying to stay under $109 million.
Yep. And I'm taking another guy who, like AD, hasn't been able to play a lot lately for other reasons. A lot to do with COVID and coming back from his injury. I'm taking Kevin Durant at the small forward position.
Okay.
And he makes, like I said, $39 million. It's Kevin Durant. You can't go wrong with that.
I think it's slightly controversial because you could take LeBron.
I know.
Who's clearly better, but I think
I'm going for fit here.
You're going for fit here? Okay, that's fair.
I already have Trae Young, and that's Trae Young and LeBron. Trae Young is going to limit LeBron's game. I know that sounds crazy to say.
Yeah, ball dominant. Yeah,
ball dominant.
I guess yeah.
KD can do his thing without taking too many touches.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I like that.
So that puts me at $73.1 million already. 3 guys in. And I got my fourth player here to take. A guy who I think's gone somewhat underrated in terms of MVP candidacy. I know we can't put him there because he's not that what's the word? He's not that high up as a player yet, like these other guys.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna say here.
Okay.
At my shooting guard position, I'm taking Donovan Mitchell, and the reason I say MVP is he's just the best player on the best team in the league right now. I'm not saying he's the MVP, but he just needs more recognition, and he's my second rookie contract at only $5.2 million. Another guy who this probably makes my point sound hypocritical because he kind of needs the ball to be dominant, but I think if he's got other guys around him like Trae and KD and Giannis, he'll fit right in there. And all these guys are going to fit in. We're all taking stars in our starting lineups. So,
one quick thing about the Jazz, you can make an argument that Donovan Mitchell isn't the best player on his team, but in terms of your roster, obviously it was the best pick. But Gobert's been really good, and then Conley, in terms of player efficiency, has been better than Mitchell. So
advanced stat god right now. They love him.
Yeah, for sure. Bounce back year for him as well. So
who are you gonna take to try to catch up to my team?
So this, So this is my fourth pick now, and I got back to back. I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid here as my second big salary guy. What do you want me to say about Embiid? He's an MVP candidate right now. Dominant in the post, can shoot the 3 too, and then pretty incredible as a post defender as well. And I'm pairing him with Anthony Davis in the front court. Who's scoring on that front court? And they obviously bring it on. They bring it on both ends of the floor. So it's God, that is just. I don't think you could really get a better front court duel than that, to be honest.
Yeah, like I said, the only one that competes with that is mine. But
Giannis versus Embiid, and then you haven't said your power forward yet, but we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
So you have another pick, right?
Yeah, that leads me to my fifth pick, and I'm going to use my last rookie scale contract with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a salary of $4.1 million.
Better than John Morant.
Ooh, okay. I would. And that's tough. There's a
lot of really young.
There's this tier of Western Conference guard. Yeah.
Fox, Shai, Trae, they're all right there.
Yeah, for sure. And Shea, I can't say that he's the best of that group, but in terms of my team, I like him paired with Luka Doncic in the backcourt, and then obviously that salary at 4.1 million is pretty amazing. So
And
yeah.
I'm also biased. I mean, I'm a huge Thunder fan. I watch a lot more Shea than I do Ja, but they're both fantastic players.
Yeah, I would build my team around either of those guys. So.
Yeah. So speaking of building teams, I'm gonna finish my starting lineup that would crush yours here with at the power forward position, my last rookie deal.
Is who you got?
It's actually the best number one pick to ever go to New Orleans.
To play power forward too?
Unlike Anthony Davis.
No, he's getting locked up by AD on my team.
I'm taking Zion Williamson. So
My team is built to shut down Zion. I'm just saying.
So that
But,
gives
yeah.
us two really good, a great backcourt with Trey and Donovan Mitchell, and then the best player on the team, obviously KD, and then a great front court of Zion and Giannis. I think it's a good mix of scoring and defense, and obviously KD does it all. So I think that's.
I will say, of all the players we've taken, right now Kevin Durant's the best player. But I think the rest of the starting lineups, the way they're shaped, I think I would take KD out.
Think so.
Yeah.
I don't
And this
know.
is obviously assuming everybody's healthy,
Yeah.
obviously, or else it would be no fun. Like, I wouldn't take Anthony Davis if he had been out for his career, but he's
Yeah.
only out for like a few weeks. So
Hopefully it stays like that.
exactly. So that moves into our bench unit. Who do you got as your sixth man?
I got the new point guard for the New York Knicks,
Okay.
Chicago legend,
Former Piston.
Detroit, not legend but loved guy, Derrick Rose. He's going to be my sixth man coming off the bench for the point guard position. He's at $7.8 million. Just makes me sad, man. I mean, I'm glad he's playing great, but I was watching a whole bunch of Derrick Rose stuff the other day, and he was not to be messed with, which everyone knows that, but that man was just different before his injuries. And
If you're 15, you probably don't know this.
yeah, and if you're 15, don't stop watching the video. Finish the video, because our views are more important than anybody else's. But once you're done with this, go ahead and look up some Derrick Rose. I don't even say prime highlights because he was injured, so you never really saw his prime. But yeah, like I said, the man was
I mean, his highlight clips are pretty nasty right now.
that man was different. Yeah.
But like 2010 through 2013, Derrick Rose was just a whole nother level of point guards. Like,
You know, we see it now with like Westbrook and De'Aaron Fox and John Wall, like some really hyper athletic guards. But Derrick Rose was the first smaller guy that we saw jumping out the gym, and we were like, "What?" Like,
Yeah,
I remember, obviously, my dad. He's not as much as a big basketball fan as he used to be, but he was more in the '90s. Watched all that, and then I remember being like 11, 12, and watching a Bulls game where Derrick Rose was his MVP year, I think, and he saw him jump, and he was like, he's too small to be doing that. I still remember that to this day, and yeah, he was an animal, but yeah, so that's my sixth
shout
man.
out to the short kings
Coming off
that are
the
balling
bench.
in the NBA.
Yeah, for sure.
Another thing about Rose that I want to say, like, he was like 22 when he won MVP. That's not even close to prime years. Like, usually guys another 5 years from then are hitting their prime, and Rose was already winning an MVP. So it's a shame he got injured, but you know he managed to bounce back despite that, and you know he's built a pretty sustainable career for himself.
Yeah, for sure. See,
So
see a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, the MVP definitely helps him out there.
Yeah,
And just like his name, like he's a household name, not only in Chicago but across the NBA fan base. So yeah, I would definitely vote him in.
Me too.
But that moves me into my sixth man, and I'm gonna take the newcomer, Shake Milton, with a salary of $1.7 million, and then the production to go along with it. He's been balling this year for the Sixers. Like, he's one of the more underrated guys on that team and why they've been so good. I think he's averaging like 17 a game right now, so I can't complain with 17 coming off the bench and a salary of just $1.7 million, which is nothing. That's like less than the vet minimum, so I'll gladly take that as my sixth man.
Yeah, I mean, he's having quite the year. Like you said, 17 off the bench. He's had quite a
for a
jump.
team with like a lot of star talent too.
Yeah, for sure. And then you have the next pick, right?
I do. With my 7th pick and 7th man, I'm gonna take a couple floor spacers here with my next 2 picks, but you'll see that a little later. But my first one is gonna be Seth Curry, the teammate of Joe Milton, with a salary of $7.8 million. And I think this is a massive bargain. When you think of Seth Curry, he's one of the most efficient players in the NBA, one of the best shooters.
Currently the only player ever in the 50,
Yeah,
50,
and
100
he's a really
club.
good fit around a lot of stars, and obviously I have that on my team because it's just so much better than AJ's. But with Seth Curry, you get maximum floor spacing. And I think he's like, what did you say he was earlier in the car? We were talking about this. He's like the first player
ever in the 50, 50, 100 club. Shooting
Yeah, we'll
50.
see if that 100.
Yeah, that's not gonna
stays
probably hang
pat,
out. But he's shooting 50 from the field, 50 from the 3-point line, and hasn't missed a free throw
it's
yet.
unreal what he's done so far this year in terms of
It's
efficiency. And another thing I want to say about Curry, like, it seems like wherever he goes, he brings a winner. Like Portland, he played for them for, I think, a full season or two, and they made the conference finals. And then he goes to Dallas, and they were a whole lot better than they are right now. And then now he's on the Sixers, and they're the first seed. Obviously, he's not like the star player on any of those teams, but something has to be said for the role he's played in those teams.
It's just something about that Curry DNA, man. I mean, like, you go from Dell to
You're
Seth
Curry,
to Steph. Like,
I want to see Cannon Curry in like 18 years.
Yeah.
He's gonna be great.
yeah, those guys.
Steph's son's about to like average 50.
You come out the womb with a limitless range badge,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah,
insane,
true.
man. So now I'm to my 7th guy off the bench here. I know this sounds weird, but as a Thunder fan, this might be my favorite player in the league, like him or Shea.
I think I know where you're going here. But
I got Lou Dort.
yeah, I like him too.
Clamp God. He's in the defensive player race right now. Everyone has him like 5th, but he's there, so that's all that matters. And he's had a huge.
For a guy that's in his 2nd year and undrafted.
Yeah,
like,
he was signed to a 10-day, and then I remember me and other Thunder fans I know were really hyped when we signed him for the rest of the year, and then now he's on a bigger contract, and it's a 1.5. That's why I took him, because I used so much money in my starting lineup that I have minimum guys from here on out. But and the big jump he's made, other than defense, which has always been good, is his 3-point ability. Like, he's still over 40%, so that really takes him from a valuable role player to a building piece. And he's just had a great season, and people need to pay attention to Lou Dort, man.
I think the Thunder's talent development has gone very under the radar in like the last decade or so, right? Would you agree with that as a Thunder fan, right?
I'm trying to think of guys that we didn't develop, and the only one I can think of is Hasheem Thabeet, and we didn't draft him, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
Well, was he drafted by like Memphis?
Yeah, it was Memphis, and then he came.
Did he
to us.
play for you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Played
Okay.
for us, but he sucked because he sucks. But
Yeah, some guys are just like, they're just kind of a wash. Like,
he just
it
had
doesn't
that,
matter who
he,
develops them. They're
He had
just
that
not gonna
syndrome of he was just too big. It was too big. He wasn't coordinated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all I can think of. Other than that, everyone.
You have another pick coming up, right?
Here's the 8th guy off the bench here in Kendrick Nunn.
Kendrick Nunn.
He's had a little bit of a drop off compared to when he first started as a rookie. He was in that rookie race.
Yeah.
But he's been competing for touches with Goran Dragic and other guys on that Miami team who has so many young guards.
Tyler Harrell, yeah.
Yeah, Duncan.
But speaking of Duncan, we'll get to that.
Yeah, but he helps off the bench, and he's cheap, so that's really all I got. He's at $1.7 million. So what do you got here?
So I got picks 8 and 9 coming up, and I'm going to take Kendrick Nunn's teammate and Duncan Robinson. He's a lot like Seth Curry, as like he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. Spaces the floor for guys like Anthony Davis, Embiid, Luka, Tatum, all those guys. And he can just pretty much fill them in at the shooting guard or small forward, and your team will be set for now and the years going forward. So I had Duncan Robinson with my 8th pick, and then with my 9th pick, I took Jeff Green, the do-it-all guy for the Brooklyn Nets. I just like how he his versatility on the defensive end, and then his floor spacing, and then he's very underrated in the transition and attacking the basket. So Jeff Green's a guy that I've always thought was kind of underrated, right?
Just does his job.
Right, he's been this kind of journeyman, which makes no sense because he can fit in any team anywhere. And
But
produce,
I think
so.
that's what happens with role players that can fit anywhere. Is they become journeymen because they can fit anywhere. So every year
Everybody wants him.
there's a
Yeah.
new team who needs that kind of guy. I think that's what it is. It's not like he's floating around because someone picks him up because no one wants him. It's everyone wants him, and he's probably signs a lot of one-year deals. So
That's a good point. But yeah, he's playing a pretty crucial role on that Brooklyn Nets team as a starter. So,
yeah.
and he's played really good. So, yeah, that moves on to AJ's next two picks.
All right. So here I got this is the 6, 7, 8. This is the 9th man off my bench. The worst Morris brother. I got Markieff Morris. He's making.
Can't get the other Morris brother because you don't have any money
Yeah.
to work with.
He's making $2.3 million. There's not a lot to say about him. He's just a bruiser who will get you into a lot of fights.
He's like a glue guy.
Yeah, and he can kind of stretch the floor. Not
He
quite.
played
like
a role
his
off the
brother.
bench for that championship Lakers team too. That's something's got to be said about
I
that.
remember a few years back when we replaced Patrick Patterson, who was awful for my Thunder. We replaced him with Markieff, and we thought we were going to the championship. We thought Markieff was the final piece, and
You were wrong.
not only were we wrong, but he was awful. Like, he was really bad, and he played a better role with LA than he did for us. So
I feel like the Thunder haven't had that many good power forwards. Is that
Jeremy Grant, but he
but he didn't. Well,
yeah.
he's slightly bloomed in Oklahoma City, but he's not.
Serge played the 4 for us for a while, but nothing crazy.
Sure.
But then my next guy off the bench here,
Your last guy off the bench
well, yeah,
to finish out your second unit.
the rookie here, Jayshawn Tate for the Rockets.
Okay.
Just he's quite the player. Like,
That's a spicy
he's in
pick.
he's
That's
in
a
that
spicy-
rookie race right now.
Which is crazy because he's like 24 or 25, but
Yeah, he
I
just
think
does his job.
I think he bounced around in Europe or China for a few years. I remember watching him at Ohio State. Big Ten Conference. I'm a Michigan fan, so I
That
saw a
must
few.
suck.
Yeah, I saw a few games of Jayshawn Tate, and he was always really good. So I always kind of wondered, like, why I didn't see him on any teams for all those years. But Rockets took a flyer on him, and he's taking advantage of it.
Yeah, so shout out to him. There's not really a lot more to say about him. He's just doing his job.
Yeah, and then that leads me to my 10th and 11th picks, and I need a big man off my second unit, so I'm going to take Daniel Tice with a salary of $5 million. Obviously, that's a bargain for a guy that's been the Celtics starting center for the last couple of years since Horford left, and he's filled in really well. He's not a star player necessarily, but he's a guy that you could fit in pretty much on any team, and I really like him on my second unit. And then with my 11th guy, a guy that won't quite be in my rotation, but in case some guys get injured and all that, which will obviously happen in basketball, I'm going to take Terrence Davis, the undrafted 2-guard, with a salary of $1.5 million. He's shown flashes of being really good for the Raptors. I just think he hasn't had much of an opportunity with Van Vliet and
Freddie Smokes.
Freddie Smokes, and then who's the other 2-guard that's been on their team for forever? I forget his name.
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been stuck behind those 2 guys, but I think he's one of those guys that are just waiting for an opportunity, and I think when he gets that, he'll be really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yep.
So Torrey Craig. That's my pick. That's my
Moving
pick. There's not a lot to say here. He's played a good role off Denver when they need him to. He'll stretch the floor. He's at $1.7 million. He just takes up money for me. He's not gonna play. He'll probably be.
Yeah, you can't spend much money now, can you?
Yeah, that's the rest of my team is kind of just guys.
I mean, same here.
So again, Brad Wanamaker,
but your next pick.
another point guard from Boston. It kind of just floats
there.
around the league. Yeah, he's just there. I don't know. He's not in Boston anymore. I'm wrong.
He's not
He's in
terrible.
Golden State, right?
Yeah, he's their backup point guard. Probably
Yeah.
plays like 10 minutes because Curry's going off.
Yeah.
And the rest of the minutes, but
And he the funny part is he's making the third most money off my bench, only behind D Rose and Markieff. I don't know how he got the bag like that. But shout out to his agent.
yeah, for real.
So who do you got left?
I've got actually my last 2 picks right now.
Oh,
So, with my 12th pick, I'm gonna take Nicholas Batum at the vet minimum of $2.3 million, and he's starting for one of the best teams in the league in the LA Clippers. And he's versatile on the defensive end. He can shoot the 3. I think he can fill in my second unit if anybody gets hurt. And yeah, good veteran presence. So
yeah.
thought I'd take him.
So our teams, in my opinion, are pretty even here. But here's my last guy. This is what really separates us. This guy,
Okay.
he
Alright.
changes the game. We were watching some highlights of him before we started recording. We were watching a bunch of guys who were really good in college and maybe weren't great in the NBA, like Cody Zeller, and
Cody Zeller.
and this guy, Jahlil Okafor. He's my last guy off the bench. He might actually play because he's the only center I have off my bench. Plays for your Pistons. How do you feel about?
Play?
He doesn't play, but he's on your Pistons.
Rookie plays over him.
Yeah, which probably is deserving. So that's $1.8 million.
Did you say his name?
Yeah, Jahlil Okafor.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
My bad.
That's gonna take me right below the cap, 106. So 109.
Yeah, with Jahlil, I think he could be a rotational guy in the league if he could defend anyone, but he just hasn't proven to. Like
He's an Enes Kanter
he's always
type
had,
of guy.
he's always had the post moves, but
Yeah.
I think he'll stick in the league for a while, but it'll never be. I don't think he'll ever be a valuable piece at this point. I mean, he was drafted in 2015, and he still hasn't. I mean, he was really good as a rookie, but a lot of it was just empty stats and a bad team. So, yeah, that was your last pick, and then with my last pick, I'm gonna take Gary Clark. And if I'm being honest,
What a star.
to be honest, he's like my best player. So
Yeah.
Gary Clark. To be honest, I don't know anything about him. I think he's a big man, but all I know is his salary was under $2 million at 1.9, and that keeps me under the 109 salary cap number. And I ended up having 0.3 to spare, or 300,000 to spare.
Yeah, I added like 100,000.
Which isn't much in NBA terms.
yeah.
So yeah, it's
Might
crazy.
be able to get like Isaiah Hartenstein.
I did some good maths there, you know.
Yeah. So
Let's go over each other's team. I'll let AJ start. Let's go over starters first. We'll compare starters.
okay, so I have the clear superior team here with Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, Zion Williamson, and Willie Hernan Gomez. No, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So again, like I said, Trae, Mitchell, KD, Zion, and Giannis at the 5.
Okay, and then mine is Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexandra.
Okay.
I'm just playing. Jason Tatum. He's still 19, by the way.
Yeah, still. Gosh.
Anthony freaking Davis at the power forward, and then the MVP, Joel Embiid at the 5.
I agree completely. MVP for sure.
And then your second unit?
Yeah, this is where things get rough after my first 2 guys.
Because you spent 39.
Yeah.
You spent over about a third of your salary on one guy.
Yeah. Well, here. So on my bench, I got Derrick Rose, youngest MVP ever, as we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite players in Lou Dort. Kendrick Nunn, Markieff Morris, Jayshawn Tate, Torrey Craig, Brad Wannabuckets, and Jahlil Okafor.
Okay. I like that. And then my second unit, which is clearly better, I have Shake Milton, Duncan Robinson, Seth Curry, Jeff Green, Daniel Tice, and then my bench warmers are Terrence Davis, Gary Clark, and Nicholas Batum, rounding out the squad. So
And me and Chance can sit here and argue about whose team's better all day because he's delusional. But
both teams are probably going 82-0.
tell us in the comments who's better, unless you think it's Chance, and never comment on a video again. No, but tell us.
Subscribe to the channel if you think my team's better.
Turn those post notifications on so we can get some our views up here.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really it, right?
Yeah, that's it for our video. If you did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. It's a lot, I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Kind of unmanageable, to be honest. But anyway, you can check us out on Instagram at Hoop Life Productions, and then on Facebook at Hoop Life Productions Podcast. That's going to be it for us. We are Hoop Life Productions Podcast. Peace out, fellas.
Thank you.